Hey, cheers everybody. Happy Sunday. Hope you guys are doing well. I'm still getting situated. Let me know if you can hear me okay. I was going to wear my headphones because the neighbor is mowing the lawn outside and then opted against it and then was going to redo it and ran out of time. Let me know what you guys have in your glass. Hit that like, hit that share, hit that subscribe. Let's see who we have in here. Let me scroll back up here at the top. We have the Pecker House in here. First, cheers to you. Liz B, cheers, Liz. How are you doing? Oh, you're welcome, Liz. You're welcome. I'm sorry it took me so long. I hadn't checked in a bit in the messages, and I just completely missed it. We have Roger Reese. Cheers, everyone. Cheers to you, Roger. Mr. Sugar Kitty, meow. How are you, sir? Got Kathy Huey. Happy Sunday, everybody. We got Five Finger cheers to you. How are you doing? James Morgan. Cheers, James. Hope you're doing well. Let's see if I got everybody. Can't decide whether to go with the rum and raisin and be on topic or the 2 stacks apricot brandy in the heat. Yeah, it's a little warm. We went from literally like the heat was on 2 days ago to now it's 85 degrees outside and it's sweltering. And I went on a walk earlier and I'm still freaking hot from it. And it's supposed to be like that for a few days, and then it's going to get chilly again, Sugar Kitty. Let's see who we are. Rum and raisin for all. You can't go wrong with the rum and raisin. I did not pick the rum and raisin tonight because I'm strictly sticking to the Barantuils tonight, which means we are going to be drinking proofy. So we'll see how many we get through. Big cheers, Slapshot. Good evening, y'all. Cheers. Ben, how are you doing, Ben? It was good to see you, Ben. It jumped on me. No, James. Hey, Peter White. Cheers to you, Peter. Hope you're doing well. Let me know if anybody knows if Kilco is going live. I know that Anthony is not tonight. Anthony is camping. Positively loud and clear here. Thank you. Thank you. I'm always weird when I go to pull the headphones out because it's a new soundboard and I'm not used to it yet. So it's the newness. The newness is not worn off yet for me. Felt like a scotch today. My husband had some scotch last night, actually. It's his birthday this week. And he had, someone generously gave us a very large sample of some Springbank 18. So thank you, Dave. It was very much appreciated. Devin drank the last of it last night. Hey, Amy. Cheers, Amy. Oh, Burns Irish Pub, hello to all. Killowen blackberry rum and a cognac cask in our glass. I did pull the cognac cask down. Maybe I'll start with that one. That's actually not a bad idea. There it is. That's a good idea, Amy. I'll start with that one. 89 in New Jersey. Phew. Yeah. I don't think we got that hot today. I think we got to 86. When I went out earlier, it was 85, 84, 85-ish. And I went out, I don't know why I put this back. I went out then because I knew it was going to get worse as the day went on. So I tried to get it done early. So since Amy suggested that one, that is one I'm going to start with here in my glass. So this is the only American release of Killowen Barantuil. This is a ex-cognac cask. And nope, not going to focus. So this was finished in a, I think it was aged, in an ex-white white cognac cask from Hennessy. So good idea. I'll start with that one. And I think there are still a couple of these floating around, maybe. Hey, Mr. Mom, how are you doing? Lurking while making 24 banana bread muffins. That sounds really good. I have not, I haven't had good muffin in a long time. I've been kind of on a baking kick, but with bread. So I haven't gotten into muffins yet. I need to do that. Because I like banana bread. That sounds really, really good. Hey, Debbie, how are you doing? No more cold weather. I'm on the opposite side of that, actually, Debbie. I don't like the sub-freezing weather, but let's just say I'm at an age where I don't appreciate the heat as much as I used to. So I'm good with it not being 90 degrees and sweltering outside. The breeze actually wasn't horrible. With the breeze was not bad at all. But I know it's going to be even worse tomorrow, and I'm going to suck it up and still go walk tomorrow. Hey, Richie Z, cheers. How are you doing? Didn't know how to cheers, whiskey friends. Oh, hey, we got Top Dog. Cheers, Top Dog. How are you doing? Kilco will be going live tonight. Thank you. Thank you very much. I checked earlier and I did not see his thumbnail. So we will make sure we wrapped up in time for Kilco so everybody can go watch Kilco. 80 today, nice breeze, low humidity. See, that's just a perfect day. That's a gorgeous day. It was not that here. It rained last night, so it was pretty muggy. We had, like I said, if the breeze was blowing, it wasn't bad. We had a real nice breeze earlier. So it's not horrible with the breeze. We're just not used to it yet. We have not, and correct me if I'm wrong, Sugar Kitty, because I think you're right in kind of the same area as far as weather that we are here in Ohio. We have not had like that gradual, you know, it slowly gets warmer from the cold. We've had like extremes, like turn your heater on cold one day, you need a sweatshirt, and then the next is cold. I think Saturday, like I woke up and had a sweatshirt on and had a hoodie on, and by the end of the day I was in shorts and a t-shirt. Like we've not had that gradual. It's just been one extreme to the next. So I have not been able to adjust at all. I don't know what it is about this year. It's going to be a bad year for weather. Oh, thank you, Kathy. Yes, hit that like, hit that subscribe, hit that share, all of that fun stuff. Yes, we all like his muffins. I was waiting for somebody to do that. The second I said that, I'm like, this crowd, somebody's going to have a comment. Good on you, James. Fair play. Fair play. You're having fun watching the girls with their new pool. Debbie is talking about her dogs. One of my dogs would absolutely, if we got a swimming pool, would be in it. The other one does not care for water. She would not. Our wolfhound did not like the water either, even though the family he came from loved it. They were always in the creek. 90 in Nashville today. Goodness gracious, that's too hot. Oh, it's too hot. Hey, cheers, Mark Miller. Rain most of the day here. Yeah, we had that yesterday. It actually was supposed to get worse. We had storms roll through, and I thought it was supposed to rain a lot more, but it absolutely did not. Cheers, Eric Gunderson, 91 in your area. Goodness gracious. Yeah, you're down in that neck of the woods too. 12th south of Nashville, 87. Thing is, by the end of the week, it's supposed to be 60 again. A little crazy. El Nino is supposed to be around, so hot summer, mild winter, so they say. I assume that's mild winter for next year, because the foot of snow that I had in my yard this year would debate that, saying we had a mild winter this past year. Yeah. Everybody remember to lick the like the lick. It tastes Irish and super Moorish. Thank you, Sugar Kitty. All right. So we are starting with, if you aren't familiar with the Barantuil series from Killowen, it's some of the best Irish you're going to get coming out of Ireland. So this is a collection this is Killowen's own distillate, which unlike the rum and raisin, fabulous pour. You guys know it's one of my daily drinkers. That one is sourced. This is Killowen's own distillate, and it's one that they put so much care into it. They only produce a small amount. It tends to sell out immediately. I believe the next one we should have a Saghalin coming up again soon. You can see up here that I have quite a bit of it, and what you can't see is off to the edge. There's a whole lot more of it. It actually goes off to the corner, and I've had to start a second shelf for all the Barantuils. So I'm going to start with our first one that was, like I said, the American release. Hey, Cool Running, cheers to you. How are you doing? It was good to see you. Yeah, the next 2-week prediction, back and forth with the temp, completely dry. Worrying now about the drought. Yeah, I haven't seen a lot of, well, actually, next week we're scheduled to get quite a bit of rain. I have a feeling my heater will be on again at some point. It's just crazy. Heard it might break a record, so it could be risky. All right. So this is a 3-year-old GI compliant single pot still. No, this is a mixed mash bill. It is more single pastel though. I think it is single pastel. So we are starting at 61%. Yeah, all these Barantuils are cast strength. So you're going to get quite a bit of heat on all of these. These are all good drinkers. I love pulling these out for my bourbon friends just because the proof is so high. They always like them. This is a 3-year-old. I'd love to show you this. So this is the actual color. I said white cognac cask finish on this. And I love all these Barantuils come with a card that gives you all of the details about the whiskey you're drinking. So the one we are starting with, that I believe Amy also has in her glass, is 8 sacks of malted barley, 4.5 sacks of unmalted barley, 1 sack of malted Maris Otter barley, 1/4 sack oats, 1/4 sack wheat. Okay, then that is GI compliant because that would be less than 5%. This gives you the fermentation, the distillation. This did have all of its maturation in a 200-liter white brandy cask. That was cognac, and I know that Brendan Carty shared that one was from Hennessy. So this was I believe they might still have some of these at Folsom Wine and Spirits. I'm not 100% sure on that. I believe they might have had 1 or 2 left at the Party Source, possibly in Newport, Kentucky. It's been a while, honestly, since I've gone in there and looked. Eric is pouring a wee dram of the Killowen peated malt cask, 10-year blended Irish. You know, I got that down, Eric, the other day when my husband and his buddy were out in the garage with cigars and kind of poured around to that, and everybody loved it. And they loved the way it paired with the cigars. I have not had that. It's been about a month. I'm gonna have to pull that down again. You're right. That is a good one. This smells just so nice. It reminds me, honestly, of kind of Demerara sugar. When I open the bag of Demerara sugar to make like an Irish coffee, the first note I get off that. And hopefully I've got the background noise kind of echo thing going on my mic, so hopefully you can't hear my neighbor mowing the lawn. Yeah, I'm getting some tropical fruit notes too, but that is the first note I'm getting hit with. It reminds me of that Demerara sugar. Amy, you have this one. Let me know in chat what notes you tend to get with the cognac cask. The palate is really nice. You are hit with that sweetness right up front. A lot of tropical fruit notes and kind of some orange, lemon. Kind of leaning more into lemon. A little bit like a lemon zest. It does have some heat to it. At 61%, it's got a little heat to it, which this is my first pour of the day, so haven't really eased myself into it yet. You get whiskey notes. I'm going to use that next tasting that I'm at, which I'm going to be at here in a couple of weeks. In June, we are going back to Kentucky to the Bourbon Trail. We're going to do some different distilleries this time than when we went last time. We are going back to Wild Turkey. We all really love Wild Turkey, so we're going 4 Roses, Wild Turkey, Larrikin, which I'm very much looking forward to. Have not had any Larrikin, but that one was recommended by Chris Tatz and Lilith Morgan, so we're going to hit up Larrikin. Amy, honestly, I think about it's easy. I try to relate it to food. So, like I said, I nose it and that's like the sugar that I have, the big bag of the Demerara sugar. That I actually use that to make simple syrup, just a couple. So that might be why I'm connecting with that. I actually use some of the Demerara to make a simple syrup for our mint juleps for Derby Day. But that's the note that kind of hits me. And I do get some spice, and I'm getting some tropical fruit, but it's not citrus. It's more like peaches. It's not even really tropical. It's more like peaches. So like peaches and the sugar. The palate, I don't get as much of the peaches. Definitely still get that sweetness. And that kind of lemon zest. A lot of the spice, now that I've had a couple pours, spice is coming back down a bit. There is still nice baking spice in here though. It's a really lovely pour. Hey Joe, how are you doing? Cheers to you. Hope you're doing good. I have been super busy lately and have not really been following up on everybody's stream. So I'm hoping to fix that this week. So hopefully you'll see me popping into a few more streams this week. It's just been busy. You know, we got had to get the garden in, got that done. We've got graduations. My only niece is graduating high school. That is a crime. She should not be old enough to be graduating high school yet. I'm not ready for that. I can't even imagine what her parents are thinking, because I know I'm not ready for it. But let me know if you guys, if you're putting, did you plant anything in, I know you've got a couple gardeners here. Let me know what you plan on when I get out our second pour. So the second one we're going to have, honestly, it was one that I absolutely had to have, because this was rye, and I am a sucker for rye. And this one was the second cask released from Killowen Distillery. And this one is the one that is nicknamed the Paddle Breaker. So this is the Capuchin Rye Single Cask. I need to get a better camera. I got sound covered. I got lights covered. So camera is the next on the list. I'll use this glass. So this one, like I said, this is nicknamed the Paddle Breaker. Now this one was originally designed to be a 100% Irish rye whiskey. However, they could not stir the mash. At Killowen, like I said, they are very old school. I'll have to see if I can dig up a picture of Killowen Distillery for everybody. It's very small, and they use, like I said, they're still measuring everything by the sack. They were using a canoe paddle to stir the mash. Well, the rye mash was so dense that they broke off, I believe, like 3 canoe paddles trying to stir this mash. So at that point, they kind of got fed up and threw in just 2 1/4 sacks of malted peated barley. So this mash bill is 11 3/4 sacks of malted rye and 2 3/4 sacks of malted peated barley. This one, the maturation was in 120-liter ex Pinot Noir cask and a 120-liter ex rye whiskey cask. That was, the origin was undisclosed by the broker. That happens sometimes. Sometimes they'll tell you. The 2 stacks origin bottle, he told me that cask is from Wild Turkey. So it's either probably the Wild Turkey 101 rye. But this one was matured in a rye cask and a Pinot Noir cask. And at 59.3% ABV, this is the lowest that I'm drinking today. So but all these Barantuils are very high ABV. You see a very nice color on this. And again, 3-year-old whiskey. And I really need to, get somebody, I'll have to get a guest and send them an entire flight of Barantuils. I don't think I've ever done that. I think that would be fun. I don't think I've ever sent anybody a whole list of Barantuils. Let's see, we got, Kathy did tomatoes, basil, sage, mint, jalapenos, shishitos, and banana peppers this year. Lemon balm and rosemary made it through the big ice storm you had. Mine, the only thing I've ever had come back year after year was thyme, and it died off a couple years ago when we had a real bad cold snap around Christmas time. We had sub-zero. It didn't come back after that. I have them all potted though. All my herbs are in the back patio, and I have an herb shelf. That's like 2 shelves, and I've got I got mint, but I bought the wrong kind of mint. So they didn't have any spearmint. I bought this plant called mountain mint. And I like the smell of it, but clearly it's more of a shrub kind of thing because it's just exploding out of that little pot. And then I've got, sage, rosemary. I have lemon verbena. I have basil, oregano. We tend to use cilantro is the only one I don't do. I can't manage cilantro. I muck up cilantro all the time. It always ends up growing too much, and I never eat all of it. And then it burns right up. Imagine if they tried to ferment oats. Oh my God, cement. So they do have a couple of releases that are heavy oat in the mash bill, but not as much as this one. Yeah. Hey, Jarrell, how are you doing? Cheers to you. Finished in broken paddle staves. You know, I like that idea, actually. That's a good idea. And we went up to the warehouse where Brendan stores all of his casks. And it was so funny. We were so not prepared. We went up there. I think he didn't bring something he was supposed to and used something else. And then he didn't bring the thief. So we ended up with an old, like, white ceramic jug, like that you would pour water, like for Sunday dinner or something. That would sit on your dining room table. And that's what he just poured all the whiskey in. Oh, yeah, whatever works. But I like that idea. And broken canoe paddle stave. They actually do have, so go to Killowen, and I have pictures, so I'm going to have to share it with Patreon. I do have a picture of the one of the broken canoe paddles is framed on the wall at Killowen. Hey, cheers, Mauricio. Thank you for joining us. We are on to the very second release from Killowen Distillery, Killowen Barantuil, the Capuchin the Rye Cask. And this is a mostly rye, a little bit of peated malted barley. And the lowest I'm drinking at 59%. And you do get the peat on the nose on this one. Just a little bit, though. Just a little bit. I'm getting some of that red berry from the Pinot Noir cask as well. Oh, my garden is all perennial flowers, no vegetables or herbs. See, I'm the opposite. I don't do flowers. I have lavender. I do have lavender. Now that does come back every single year, and it keeps getting bigger. I need to cut it back a little bit. It's a little bit out of control this year. But other than that, I don't plant a lot of flowers. I mostly plant veggies and Killowen rum and raisin with the toast. Hey, cheers. Hey, cheers, Marty. It's good to see you, sir. Sorry if I missed you. There we go. Stealing Sugar Kitty's line. Yeah, you do definitely. And I get a little bit of the rye spice because I get a little bit of like a minty note on this. So mint, a little bit of red berry. Definitely get a little bit of the peat smoke on the nose. Just a little bit. I think the notes from the Pinot Noir are the ones that you get hit with first. A lot of red berry. It's coming through kind of like a raspberry and cream at the beginning, and then it's finishing really spicy, and that would definitely be the rye. I am a rye fan. Anything Killowen releases with rye, I'm usually the first in line to get it. I absolutely love it. I don't think they've actually had a release that's had rye. It's been kind of quite a bit of rye that I don't have. I think I do have all of them. That's just Marty's way of saying hello to me every stream. Yeah, the more you go back to it, the more that rye comes through. I mean, you're still getting hit right up front with the berries, with the cream. But I am starting to get a little bit of those minty, kind of herbal notes that you get with a rye whiskey. Does not drink like an American rye. Completely different than an American rye. Irish rye tends to be, a lot softer than American rye. And this one is no exception. But this is one, I need to come back to this one more often. This is still one of my absolute favorites from Killowen. I think it's a really nice pour. I'm just going to set these aside though. I'll have to do that. I'm going to hit the water, though. Oh, is it tinny? Oh, it's tunnely. Yeah, it might be. Let me make sure it's picking up the right mic. It could just be because I'm so far away from the mic too. See if that's a little better. Oh, edit mic. Let me put the reduced background noise on too. That might help. There you go, Darrell. Let me know if that's any better. I'm still tinkering around with this mic. This is a soundboard that my husband got, and I'm still tinkering. And I think the last mic I had was more, it wasn't just forward facing, so it picked up a lot more. So I'm still getting used to it. Irish rye soft like geraniums. I just planted some geraniums, actually. Hey, cheers, Hanging AZ. How are you now? Hey, Donald. Cheers to you. How are you doing? That's good. It's auto adjusting is what's going on. I thought I had the auto adjust off. I had the auto adjust off. I am in a little room, though, and I do have the door closed, so. Yeah, I have the fan going, so it's got a little twisty in here. Sounds the same, not as bad. It's not bad, just not as clear as it used to be. Okay, I'll keep tinkering. Yeah, I'm still getting used to it. And honestly, I had it unplugged and had my computer downstairs and just came back in and plugged it in and did not leave myself time to test. But as long as you can hear me. I'll have to put my headphones in next time. That way I can hear it. Not like the annual geraniums, perennial geraniums. I don't think I have those. I just have the annual ones. I think I always thought the just regular geraniums, I've known people that have kept them alive for years, though. They would bring them indoors in the wintertime. Don't think I've tried Irish rye, putting that on the list. Powers makes the most common Irish rye that you could find. That is still in the US. So you should be able to find that one. Outside of that, I think you're going to have to go to Ireland to get a bottle. The Powers Irish rye is pretty widely available, though. So you should be able to find that one. A little bit closer. Okay. But yeah, a lot of these have rye. There's a lot of two stacks that has rye. Short Cross makes a really good rye and malt that is really good, 66% ABV. Yeah, fair value as well. I completely agree, James. Yeah, that Powers Irish rye, it's like $30 a bottle here. It's crazy. It's crazy reasonable. All right, what do we want to jump to next? We're going to jump down to here because this one is a little bit lower ABV, and I know the last two are beefing up in ABV. So, oh yeah, the Kilbegan rye. Thank you. Yeah, that's right, the Kilbegan. But the Kilbegan rye really doesn't have that much rye in it. I think they called it rye because it couldn't be called a pot still, because he made basically a non-GI compliant pot still. But I might be wrong. Maybe I'm thinking of something else, Donald. I do like that one, though. I think I still have some of that. Yeah, I do. I do still have some of that. Powers Rise, fair on the neck pour after it sits for a week, solid banger. I would agree with that. It does need some time to open up. Once it opens up, like I said, I get like banana pudding. I get a lot of banana notes on that one. My husband loves it. We came back from Ireland, bought 5 bottles of it. I think we're down to our last bottle or 2. We're down to our last one. I don't even have one here anymore. I think we only have one downstairs. So we are down to the last one. Yeah, 30% rye and 70% pot still. Thank you. Yeah. Yeah, I am right. Okay. I thought that was the one I was thinking of. That it basically was a non-GI compliant pot still. Just with a large, it didn't have quite as much rye. It's still really good though. I mean, you do still get the rye notes on that. All right. So the next one we're going to get into here, and I definitely need to I definitely need to send somebody an entire flight of the Killowen Barantuils. I think that would just be a really cool flight. So this one is from a very special event that happened actually at Killowen. That was, they called Killowen Day. And it was for everybody in the Friends of Irish Whiskey Facebook group. And I was fortunate enough to have someone get a bottle for me at the event. And so this is a mixed mash bill, 4 years old, 57.1%. This is an Amontillado cask finish. This is the Killowen Day edition. So, very nice color. Looking for a volunteer. Let's pour some of this. I haven't had this one in quite a while. I remember getting into this when I first got the bottle and thinking, wow, that's really good. And I'm an Amontillado finish fan. You still don't see a huge amount of it. You do see some in Irish whiskey. The other one I have is the Bill Fill that's been finished in the Amontillado. But so this mash bill is 3 sacks of unmalted barley, 7 sacks of malted barley, 2 sacks of oats, 1 sack of wheat, 1 sack of rye. The maturation was in 120-liter bourbon quarter cask and 120-liter Amontillado cask for finishing. So the maturation was in the bourbon quarter cask, and then the finishing was in the Amontillado cask. It spent 3 years in the ex-bourbon quarter cask, and then a further 18 months in the Amontillado sherry cask. Now, this is, again, one that would be considered a pot still, but it's a non-GI compliant pot still. So it does not follow the current pot still regulations. But otherwise, historically, 100 years ago would be considered a pot still. Amontillado finish sounds great. Yeah, like I said, I'm a fan of them. We've got a few in Irish whiskey. I think there's another one I'm trying to. Oh, it's the Clonakilty single pot still is actually got some of the finishing in an Amontillado cask. A lot of red berry notes coming off the nose on this. A little bit of almond. A bit of vanilla too. You can definitely tell that a bourbon cask was involved in this one. That is a note that I haven't gotten really that much yet, is that typical bourbon vanilla note. And this one does have that bourbon vanilla note. This is so good. Yeah, I remember. Now I remember why I remember thinking, yeah, that's really good. The spice is much softer than the others that I've had. The first one, that cognac, some of it was just it was a single pot still, true single pot still. It hit very spicy. This one does not have as much spice to it. It's much softer. I'm sure part of that is the oats. Oats tend to make Irish whiskey kind of creamy. Very nice. Yeah, there's 2 sacks of them in here. It makes it have like a really nice mouthfeel. A good one to compare would be the Drum Shambo single pot still. That has a little bit of bar oats in it, and you can notice a little bit of a difference in that one. Really good. Comes off with, I'm getting a berry, but it's a almost like a cherry. It's definitely a darker berry note. A little bit of almond, really buttery. A little bit of spice at the end. And a little bit of like a clove. I don't know, it's not as spicy as a clove though. But that is a really tasty pour. I haven't had that one in a while. Not had that one. So I know one question is how do you get these Barantuil bottles? One way that you could get them is if you are in a state that can ship things into you, you can follow the Killowen Distillery Ireland webpage and sign up for their Facebook groups. They will, if you're following Killowen Distillery on Facebook, following the Killowen Cult page on Facebook, make sure you're getting the newsletter from the distillery. You will get emails announcing when these releases are happening. And when those releases happen, if you do want to try a bottle of these, you'll need to make sure. Sometimes they tend to release them a little later in the day in Ireland, more like about noonish. I think that's the earliest, if not a little bit later, if not even 4. I don't think I've ever had to get up in the middle of the night for a Killowen release. I mean, I've had to set my alarm for like 7 a.m. before, just because it was releasing at noon Ireland time. So you would be able to do that. They do release a small number of these, so you would have to set your alarm right when they're going to go on sale. You would have to immediately go to the website and purchase one. Yeah, my issue is they have such a small number produced. Yeah, you do have to jump on it immediately. If it lasts 2 hours. Honestly, most of them don't last an hour, and they're gone. They don't release a huge amount of bottles. This one we're drinking now, it looks like they only had 64 bottles, and I was very fortunate to get one. Let me see one of the others that we were drinking. Let's see, 211 I think is one of the most. I had 232. That one, actually, that American one that had 400, because that was a big one. But so typically the yield is typically right around 200, 230 bottles. So you do have to set your alarm and get up and get that bottle. If like I said, if you are in a state where you can get shipments, they do deliver. I know my friend in New York gets them. I'll jump in on her orders, so she ships them to her house. I believe they're DHL. They're shipping DHL. They ship. It's not crazy expensive. You do pay for the exchange rate between, they're in Northern Ireland, so it's pounds to US, but you can get these bottles. Very strictly limited. Yeah, you only have a yield of 200, 230 bottles. It's pretty limited. This one was extremely. It literally was for this event, and I was just lucky that a few people couldn't make it, so there were a couple extra bottles, and somebody picked me one up. The other way that you could obtain some of the Barantuil bottles is Irish whiskey auctions. It is a legitimate website in Ireland where a lot of people will auction off bottles in their collection. And I know I've purchased bottles from them. They do a wonderful job. I really can't say enough about Anthony and Katie. They're great people. And you can find a lot of these Barantuils on there. Sometimes you get a really good deal on them. Shipping, it's a little pricey, but I will say I've never had any issue. They package everything really well. They take care of you. If you buy something at one auction and you want to hold it, until you buy a couple more, maybe at the next auction, they will do that for you. I think it's up to 3 months. They'll hold on to something for you. And so that is another way that you can find a lot of these hard to get bottles. Let me pull the next one here. So if you would like to try these Barantuils, those are options. Like I said, the other is, and I'm not 100% sure if they still have it, check at Folsom Wine and Spirits, and they may still have the American released one. I'm not 100% sure though. That one released back in 23. No, it was 2023. I guess that's on. Yeah, that's what's on there. So 2023 that released. It has been 3 years. You might still find a couple floating around. Man, that Amontillado was good. Let's save my glass. Maybe pour one of that to go. That one's very good. All right. I want to go with the next one. I'm going to go with is actually the latest Barantuil release. Because the last one is a little more peated. I did not pull actually one of my absolute favorites. And I just wanted to pull a good variety, so I didn't pull that one down. And that was actually a 3-year tawny port. And, there were none there. Okay, thank you, Sugar Kitty. A 3-year tawny, and it was a tawny port finish. And I love that one so much. And I had an extra one of those. And I gifted that to Leanne from Scotch on the Bayou. And she loved it. So it was a great, great bottle. If you see the tawny port at auction and you have the opportunity to pick one up, definitely recommend. That was a great one. And Leanne, I need to reach out to you because I know you're still setting up all your whiskey stuff when you made that move to Tennessee. And we need to have Leanne back on here. Have to send Leanne some more Irish whiskey. So this is the latest Barantuil that just released. I think it was. Let's see if I can get this out of here. I think it just released about 2 weeks ago. Well, heck, might be getting it out of here. These are cut. These little inserts are cut perfectly to fit in the back of the box, and they're cut a little too perfectly because if you don't have good nails, you're not getting it out. So this also, you notice this bottle is a much larger size. This is actually a 700 ml bottle. So you see this just released a couple weeks ago. So this one is 3-year-old mixed mash bill, 60.44% ABV, Oloroso Sherry finish. There was 169 of these bottles. That's it. Gorgeous color. As soon as I saw the color, I was all over this one. So let me pour this and let this breathe a minute. All right. And while we were talking, Sugar Kitty was kind enough, thank you, sir, to check the Folsom website, and they do not have any more of the Cognac American Barantuils, so you would have to find that on the auction site. We will be, like I said, I'll be in Kentucky next month. I know I'll be doing some recording from down there, but I will check Party Source and see if they have any left. I don't think they do, but I'll check and make sure. I got a fever and there's only one cure. I need more Leanne. The only cure is more Leanne. I agree. We all need more Leanne. We have all been missing her. That's for sure. Yeah, I need to send her some Irish, and then when she gets situated, she can send me some Scotch, because that is the category I know the least about is Scotch, and Leanne knows everything. And I definitely will be going to Leanne when I start planning our trip to Scotland, which will be our next vacation. My husband took me to Ireland again. I owe him some Scotland time. And we definitely will be in Islay. All right. So this one that, like I said, just released April 26th. Again, this is one that historically would be considered a single pot still, but under current regulations cannot be called a GI compliant single pot still. So this is 4 sacks of unmalted barley, 2 sacks of malted barley, 2 sacks of unmalted oats, and 2 sacks of unmalted rye. So you're seeing why I got it again, because I saw the rye in the mash bill. This maceration, 120-liter recouped Oloroso Sherry cask from the broker with Speyside Cooperage. I know Speyside very well. There is a Speyside here in Southern Ohio. The cask arrived wet with 5 liters of Oloroso Sherry inside and was emptied, then rinsed with 40-degree water to prevent overpowering. He actually tells you that level of information on this card. That is crazy. That is crazy. And 100% of the grain in the mash bill is Ireland, was produced in Ireland. Oh, yeah. So some of these, it depends, Richie, about the size of the bottles. So a lot of the Barantuils are these 500 mils, or used to be these 500 mils. That used to be kind of the standard that he did. And, that's when they were first starting to produce their own distillate. I think as the years have gone on and they've been able to produce more, we're seeing more of these 700 mils. This was one of their releases. The Saghalin series for 700 mils. That's their releases. I think now when they're doing them for groups, like the Killowen Day, when they're doing private casts, they're doing them in 500 mils. When they did, we got one for our whiskey bus tour that went to Killowen. That was a 500 mil bottle. So yeah, it just depends. Yeah, but what color eyes did the person bottling it have? Come on now. I believe Patrick's eyes are brown, but I'd have to look that up. I'd have to check. I haven't gazed into Patrick's eyes enough to know that yet. But I do know that he was heavily involved in this latest one. And there's Scotch on the Bayou. Yeah, if you are not subscribed to Scotch on the Bayou, make sure you subscribe. Leanne just went through a major move and moved states. So she is still, I know she's just doing the finishing touches on her whiskey room, and she will be back. Hey, Big League Bourbon, Chris, how are you doing? Oh, thank you. It's good to see you. Chris, I need to have you on again. Brown eyes for the win. Chris, I need to send you some more Irish whiskey. Have you on again. Oh, this one is Oloroso all day long on the nose. This is that. It's buttery, almondy. And it smells like Christmas cake. Oh, I definitely will. Definitely will. We're actually heading back down to Kentucky here in just a couple weeks. We got together. Our friends and I might throw my friends on for Memorial Day. Maybe I'll throw them on, make them do the live stream with me. But we have not been down to the Bourbon Trail. It's been a couple years, so we're just going for a weekend. I'm lucky it's just a 3-hour drive for me, so I can do that. But we're going to hit some new distilleries. I'm excited about it. Let me know. I'll be there 3 of the next 6 weeks, really. I will definitely let you know and see if you're going to be in the same place. We're going to be based in Frankfurt this time, as opposed to Louisville last time. So let me know if you guys know any distilleries around the Frankfurt area that are, don't miss. Let me know. I think we're going to drive Sunday. I think we're going to drive over to Bardstown. We're not doing any tours in Bardstown, but we wanted to hit Lux Row again and hit Bardstown and just swing through, the gift shop and see what's there. But yeah, we're going to. We have not tours. We have tastings, events set up. As you guys know, once you've toured a distillery, I mean, the mechanics of all of them are pretty much the same. So unless it's something that you really want to see, and go through everything, we just normally just do the tastings. I think Stitzelweller was the one we toured last time we were there, just because of the history. This time, we have tastings at Four Roses. We have tastings set up at Wild Turkey, which Wild Turkey is one I would love to do a whole tour of, just because I love Wild Turkey. And Larrikin. We are very excited to visit Larrikin. But we're still looking for other things to kind of squeeze in visits to. We're talking about Castle and Key, maybe popping in there. Never had their whiskey, but they have a freaking castle, and that did it for me. Man, this thing, I'm not kidding. This is like Christmas cookies on the nose. It's that sugary, almondy, just honey, brown sugar. It's like Christmas, like sugared almond Christmas cookies. That's so yummy. It's got that same like Christmas cookie taste with almost like a little bit of just like a charred brown sugar note at the end, which is kind of common in some of the Killowens, that you get that mallard effect. You get that little bit of that almost like a barrel char kind of note. Oh, Kathy's going to be in Louisville in a couple weeks. Kathy, you might end up being in Louisville right around the time I'm in Frankfurt. That's what we did. Last time we went to Louisville and spent a night in Louisville, and then we went to spend a night in Bardstown. And this time we decided we're going to base ourselves in Frankfurt. And we already got our rooms booked in Frankfurt, and then we're just going to go kind of from there. Everything's fairly close by there. My friends are big Buffalo Trace fans. They wanted to go to Buffalo Trace. We did not get into the tours at Buffalo Trace. So if anybody has an in, I would love to get that for them. You can tell I'm not as thrilled. It's Buffalo Trace. It's all tater bottles, but they really like. My husband really likes Buffalo Trace too. And I like their whiskey. I like some of their whiskey. I'm just not up for the 4-hour lines, which I heard were kind of crazy here recently. Yes, actually, he passed on. He's definitely the one that told me to book a larrikin and to make sure we mentioned about the Vegemite martini that apparently was created for them. Oh, people cancel? Oh, I didn't realize that. Okay, I definitely will. Yeah, I didn't realize that. Last time we went there, she wanted to go there, and bless her heart, because her neighbor told her, yeah, I rolled in there and there wasn't nobody in line. And I'm like, that was probably a weekday at a weird time. Like, we were there on a Sunday. And like, right at open, I said, we're not getting in. It's going to be packed. And we rolled in that parking lot, and the line was, it was insane. Like, yep, nope. And we pieced out over to Wild Turkey. And that's where we ended up getting the Saffold bottle, the Bond and Liller bottle, and I think a Russell's. And had a couple drinks there, and Jim Russell is not there. This was when they were still building their current gift shop, and they were just in the little building temporarily. But we loved it. I absolutely loved Wild Turkey. It kind of just reminded me. My family's all from Eastern Kentucky, so it kind of reminded me of that. So we're all very excited to visit Wild Turkey again. But I'm also, like I said, I'm excited. Four Roses, gorgeous distillery. We're doing the tasting with the single barrels, so I'm excited about that. And like I said, larrikin, I've never had any before. Vegemite is like taking a spent mash and spitting it in your glass. Yeah, I didn't say I was going to try it, but yeah, Chris and Lil told me go in there and let them know that that my friends are the ones that had the Vegemite martini. Yeah. Oof. Actually, Chris and Lil actually hooked me up with another one of my guests. I've got to reach out to him. I actually realized I'm out of one of my PX again, Redbreast PX. So I ordered another bottle, and I've got to reach out to him. We are going to be doing a flight comparison of all of the Redbreast in the Iberian series. So the Redbreast PX, the Redbreast Listo, the Redbreast Tawny Port, the Redbreast Quattro Barrias, and the Redbreast Moscatel. So all 5 of them. And that is, my guess is going to be Mark Gillespie from Whiskey Cast. So I've got to reach out to Mark and get his schedule and set that up. So I will be working on that. I think that's going to be a super fun. I thought about doing a blind, and I thought that'd be great to have somebody knowledgeable in there with me. And I think it's going to be, I've never actually sat down with all of them and compared them side by side. So you won't have to remind Greg who Chris is. Yeah, Chris and Lil, once you meet them, you know them. This one is so good. I don't think this is one I would be drinking a lot of during the summer. It's a little bit heavier. Like I said, that Oloroso, I mean, it's gorgeous, gorgeous whiskey. That Oloroso really is really nice, but it reminds me of cookies. All right, let me pour the last one here. A couple minutes. I want to make sure that we get over to Kilco Stream. So the last one I'm going to pour, this is another special, very special bottle. So this one was a private bottling done. It was to raise money for a child, and someone from a friend, I like to call him a friend from Ireland, John Dougal, great guy, leads a lot of our groups. He's very active in the Brooklotic group as well. And he reached out, knowing I'm a Killowen fan, and asked me if I wanted to jump in on a bottle of this. And of course I said yes. So this is lightly peated. This has been matured and finished in the Hungarian oak casks and the Pinot Noir casks. This is 65.8%, 3 years. This is called Neve. Beautiful color on this. Beautiful orange color. Let me tell you about the mash bill. And this is, because this is a special bottle, it is another one that is the 500 ml bottle. So this is called Queen Meave. Queen Meave was a warrior of great strength, resilience, and at times ruthlessness. With a name said to mean intoxicating, it's certain that she wielded enormous power and sway during her reign. In the Ulster cycle of Irish mythology, there are dozens of stories about Meave's exploits as Queen of the Connaught, one of the 4 traditional regions of Ireland. Located in the west of Ireland, Connaught has some of the most dramatic landscapes, coastlines, and weather. And there's the picture, and it comes with a picture of the family. So this is 2 sacks of unmalted barley, 6 sacks of peated malted barley, 1 sack of Maris Otter barley, 4 sacks of oats, 1 sack of wheat, and the maturation was 8 months in the Hungarian oak cask and 3 years in an ex-Pinot Noir Burgundy cask. So this one, there were 211 bottles. Yeah, there you go. Yeah, and it was to, like I said, it was to raise money for this this small girl and her family. So I was all about that. Plus, it was being finished into my very favorite casks from the original experimental series from Killowen. Now, this is lightly peated. It actually doesn't come off that peated. You actually get more. Actually, I'm getting more on the nose. I'm getting more peat on the nose than on the finish. The palate has some of the peat right there. It is right there at the finish. But when you're drinking it, it doesn't come off that peated. You do get some of those red berry notes. You do get kind of like a strawberry, raspberry from that Pinot Noir cask. You get a little bit of the spice from that Hungarian oak cask. Yeah, and you're getting some vanillins. Finishing just with that little bit of peat smoke. And this one, 65.8%. Does not drink like at 65.8%. It's a lovely pour. Like I said, if you get a chance to get any of these Killowen Barantuil bottles, the first thing you should know going in, the oldest one is 5 years old. They're all younger whiskeys, but they're all exceptionally done. They're really showcasing one of Ireland's most unique distilleries. And they're all very proofy. Does that use Maris Otter barley malt? Yes. There is 1 sack of the malted Maris Otter barley in this one. So it's got 1 sack in here, which is, it's definitely adding to kind of the creaminess, that kind of like that. I said it kind of comes off like a strawberries and cream. I would attribute some of that. That's more, no, that's more of the oats. It has 4 sacks of oats. That's definitely contributing to the creaminess in this. Glenmorangie Private Edition from the past was wonderful, creamier and biscuitier than usual, apparently. Yeah, the Irish ones, when you get the ones with the oats in the mash bill, I mean, you can tell. You know, the mouthfeel is creamy. That's the best way I can describe it. And you can especially tell it in a poutine. When the poutine has had oats, it just comes off as very creamy. All right, it is 7:02. Make sure you drop into Kilco. Tell him I sent you. Tell him I said hello. I actually need to get a hold of him. I need to know, he won my last Patreon giveaway. I need to know if he would like to have the same whiskeys that I was drinking on the stream, or if he wants something different. I'm just gonna have to do a Patreon giveaway of all these Killowen Barantuils. I think that'd be pretty good. You guys, then we get some Patreon winner would actually get to try these before they bought them. But you guys all have a great rest of your week. I will talk to you. I will definitely be doing a stream next weekend for Memorial Day. I think I'm going to include my friends. We're going to keep it light because I got to walk in a parade the next day. So I will talk to you guys next week. You have a good rest of your day. Keep cool, and I will see you later. Sláinte.